very good. Okay, very good.
Hello, Barstool Radio, and welcome to another hour of Hard Factor Radio presented by the Barstool News Network. I'm Will. We have Wes and Pat the Beeve with us today as well. Boys, how are you doing on this fine Monday? Fine Monday.
Couldn't be better, Will. I'm just kidding. It's fucking Monday. It's the worst day of the week. But we're going to get through it. We're going to make the day better because you're here on radio with us. So
yeah, we'll talk about
help
stuff that's
us
actually
help
good.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's not Mondays. Like the end of that World Series, right, Pat? Is that I was tuckered out on Saturday night, but
so the end of the Saturday night game, insane, dude, absolutely insane. I was rooting for the Rays. I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Had a couple unis on the Rays, and
responsibly, of course.
Bottom nine, very responsibly. Bottom nine, the Rays are down 1. I forget where the runners were, but essentially the tying run crossed the plate, the winning run rounding third, and dude just trips. Like he's running so hard and so fast, and you think he's gunned. He's gunned, and there was already an error in the outfield in the first place to get him to the point where he's rounding third. And he's gunned, and then the catcher on the Dodgers gets the ball. You think he's got it, and it's gone, bro. It was just a lifesaver for this guy. Because he was laid out, he was on the ground. He was going to be tagged out.
Right. So the catcher, it hit his glove, and then he was
swinging his arm to grab the ball so he could whip around real quick and lay the tag down, and it just went right out his glove.
Oh, and he slung it like into the backstop area.
He could have been a slung. It could have just been like a slight. It was just like an inch off from where he thought it was going to hit his glove, dude. But like biggest win for that guy who turned out to be the winning run. It was the best end of a baseball game I think I've ever seen in my life.
Well, the scene of him like just patting the base at home plate was awesome. That was a cool.
I mean, I guess it wasn't like it would if it was the tying run and he got tagged out, that would have been way worse. It was the winning run. They already tied the game.
Right, and that was a 2-run play, right? Exactly.
Yeah, it was a walk-off, but it was fucking amazing, bro. Like baseball is back. Baseball is back.
That was huge for baseball. That gave baseball a lot of juice right there. That play.
It's tough to be on the text chain with you guys. I was working while that was going on, and all like the oohs and the ahs is very. I silence you guys when I'm working. It's very hard to be on the exciting text chain.
I silence the text chain at all times. It's too much.
It's fast and furious.
It's furious. It's fast. It's furious. It's a lot.
There's a lot of debate. There's a lot of policy debate going on in there. There's quite a bit going on.
It's play-by-play when the sports are on.
Well, sports and politics. We're analyzing it all the time for BNN or just personal bets. So it's just that's the Hard Factor text thread.
I was also texting with longtime listener, big fan of the show, Grease Tank over the weekend.
Rough and Rowdy. That was
Rough
something
and Rowdy
that was great.
was the shit
Friday
on Friday night.
Yeah,
fantastic.
What an awesome broadcast it was. I gotta say.
It was great.
It was fun.
It was fantastic. It was so well done. And HQ Spider. I don't know if you guys were.
What a camera work by him was incredible. Hanging on to the rope. I mean, that was impressive stuff. By Spider.
Wes, what was your take as a camera guy with Spider's camera work?
Oh, I mean, I thought it was great. I remember him. They broke down how much the camera weighs and how much he said he was like 118 pounds. The camera was like 35. I mean, I've had those big shoulder cameras on my on me for a full day, and it is no fucking joke. I think he was smart, and he eventually moved to the stick, which I don't know how he got as long as he did, but it's grueling to have.
Yeah, he had
that
the
thing on your
stick. I think he had the stick, and then he was holding on to the rope. So he had the stick and the rope.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Not one bit.
He had the
did great,
monopod.
He had
the monopod.
Yeah, monopod.
Right.
Yep.
And he also had an American flag onesie that was incredible. That was nice. Spider.
Dude, his zoom work was really nice. It was like I was keeping an eye when it went to Spider's angle. I was just really hyped for him. And he was doing some like cool kind of like snap zooms. And
he's a pro.
Spider just did a great job.
I mean, it was just a classic. I mean, the COVID stuff with no crowd made it a little bit different, but I thought it was still just very entertaining. Really loved the hype man, the manager for Flying Ryan, one of the little person fighter who won. His manager, who had like the all gold outfit on, that was one of the most electric moments I've ever seen.
Right.
Was when they interviewed him after the
he
the
like
fight.
went to a Spencer's Gifts and bought all fake
Party City.
gold stuff. I mean, but he was treating it as if it was real.
Yeah.
But like on his hat, he had like the gold rhinestone.
Well, we have the same hat.
He pulled that costume off incredibly. It was fantastic.
Mark and I have the same hat for when we were doing the predicted show with Stakes and Money Marv. That's a Party City.
gambling. Yeah,
It's a Party City hat right
It's
there.
a Party City. No, that guy was like, he made me feel like I was watching Don King hyping Mike Tyson in the early 90s. Like
Flying
that
Ryan
guy,
was, and that was a title dethroned too, because the other guy was the multiple time champ. They came in and just set the arena on fire. It was excellent, worth the replay for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I thought the broadcast was fucking awesome. I thought the ring girls were great. I thought the boxing was terrible, which is what makes Rough and Rowdy great. And it's just a brawl.
So good.
It's just a brawl. But it kept making me thinking, what would it be like if some dude got in there that was a pro boxer? Like, I really want to see, because I feel like when dudes get in the ring, even though some of them had been like boxing training, right? It eventually just becomes what it's supposed to be, which is a brawl, where it's just haymakers swinging. And I was just thinking, like, if someone who's like a trained boxer got in there, would it force the other person to fight differently?
Well, the guys in the main event, I feel like they were pretty skilled in terms of hitting power punches for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but when I watch that, I always think that I could do 100 times better than what is happening on screen.
I feel like we would all do poorly in Rough and Rowdy.
I mean, I know eventually I would do poorly and be the guy running around trying to, turn my back. But I feel like it ends up just being a lot of slappy stuff. I guess because they're tired, but it's not, it's brawl. It's brawl
Endurance,
boxing, which is great.
Yeah, cardio and then not being like overly excited is probably the biggest part.
Oh yeah, I might just pass out on the way with the anxiety.
Because adrenaline dumps, people are probably just like, and then they're just done.
Yeah.
I was watching it thinking, like, what if I Rough and Rowdy? And I just kept thinking, like, I don't think I'd want to do this.
No.
But dude, Trapzilla, that guy is a fucking nut job.
A champion in the making for sure. Trapzilla is an enormous human, and that guy just, I mean, anybody they put in the ring against Trapzilla that night would have had a hard time.
So what I didn't know when I was texting with Grease Tank, so Grease Tank is a listener to the show, he was supposed to fight Trapzilla. And when we saw that, we were like, holy shit, this can't
Bad
be good.
for Grease Tank, right?
This is terrible for Grease Tank. Horrible. Because Trapzilla, like, you've never seen a more roided out dude than that guy.
He's so strong. He just, like, his skin looks like it hurts. It's stretching so tight over his muscles. It's crazy.
It's terrible. But so I texted Grease Tank and I said, dude, good thing you didn't fight Trapzilla. And he was a little shit talking. He's like, I am so much better than the guy who Trapzilla knocked out. And I believe
that. I believe Grease Tank would have given Trapzilla a better run for his money. But
Grease Tank went on to say Trapzilla was tired. I would have taken him through 3 and finished him off then.
Well, but he wasn't allowed. So.
And I said, "Were you training?" He said, "I've been working out boxing for over a year." Yeah, I know.
He's been working out boxing for over a year.
Yeah, for over a year. So who knows?
I'm sure the Grease Tank would have given him a better fight than the guy that was put out there, but unfortunately, it couldn't happen. Unfortunately, we couldn't see the goods.
But everyone did an awesome job. The broadcast was phenomenal. It was like it was really highly entertaining. It was well produced.
Funny commentary as always. Great.
Roan and Caleb did an awesome job on the sideline reporting. But dude, fucking when Roan was interviewing the jockey, right? So if you didn't watch Rough and Rowdy, there was a girl fight in there. It was a great girl fight. It was this woman who's a professional jockey. Who
lost? I don't even think she threw a single punch.
Her entrance was the only good thing about her. She was a terrible fighter. She just
I wouldn't call that boxing at all. But it was an interesting performance.
Yeah.
What she was doing is cat punching. She was cat punching. Like, so she couldn't actually throw a punch. She would throw a punch where her.
It was more like bouncing away from the other boxer.
Yeah,
but the base of where her hand meets her wrist, that was like what was hitting. With her cat punches. It wasn't really good. And the woman she was battling, the blonde chick, she absolutely had her guard up. Someone had been training her
She had been training, and she easily beat the jockey. But the jockey made the impression. I mean, she had the horse. She had the show. That was impressive.
I definitely picked it. I now I know based on what happened that we're not supposed to participate in these things because there was.
Well, no, I think you can't. We participated,
but yeah, it's
we just can't win.
But I thought just based on the pictures, I definitely picked the jockey, and that's just goes to show you sometimes those things can be misleading because I thought she was going to run away with it, and she was terrible.
Right, but she was so fit. I also picked the jockey,
fit.
Wes, and she was able to she could have gone 10 rounds. Now again, it's tough when you can't throw any sort of a punch.
When you make absolutely zero contact and score 0 points. Yeah, it's hard to win.
Just the inability to throw an actual punch. It was like no one. She didn't spend any time learning how to throw. And when people say, "I'll teach you how to throw a punch," I don't mean well. I just mean an actual.
Right, even
punch.
just to make any contact at all. Yeah, I mean she didn't meet that basic requirement, to score a point in boxing. So,
but when Roan did her post interview and said to her, "Okay," right before his last question, he goes, "The final equestrian," and I just Roan's king. Like, what a sharp brain on that guy. Like, what a sharp brain. The final equestrian for your final question for an equestrian. It was just genius.
Lots of solid moments. There was some guy who got really upset with Roan. I forget which interview that was. Oh, I think it was Aidas.
Aidas, yeah.
He was real mad. But always Caleb and Roan providing great interviews as always. Of course, Dave, Big Cat, and Robbie making the call. Excellent as always. Yeah, I mean, just Rough and Rowdy's always the best.
The jockey was smitten with Dave.
Oh yeah, that was all a show for him. I wish so badly. So we had Donald Trump Jr. on the podcast before, and he challenged Hunter Biden to a Rough and Rowdy match, and I wish so badly that had been able to transpire at Red versus Blue. But
that would be such a win for us and such a loss for them. Just the purse, what a shot! Like I think the purse is $500 if you win a Rough and Rowdy.
Well, sure, but I mean, I don't know.
Barstool did very well, the Rough and Rowdy, and rightfully so. But it would have been insane. It would have been breaking the internet.
But it seems like nobody knows where Hunter's at all. So
and no one should, not even Hunter.
He's not doing any of those public appearances. Anyways, other sporting events. Leeds, we support Leeds with the lads in the EPL now. So the Leeds 3-0 crushed Aston Villa. I saw that Liam from Pardon My Take, he was talking about how he needs to get into the EPL or because they play early in the morning, and so everybody's always hammered in New York already watching the EPL. So that's a good point. You can support Leeds too if you want to. We just got hopped on the bandwagon this year. 3-0 Aston Villa just crushed them. So
what's our total record right now with Leeds?
We're good. I think that I don't keep track of everything exactly because it's I don't know
2-2.
They're moving up. I know that. I know that they could be in third place soon. Hopefully.
I'm looking right now. Leeds right now. They're not in the top 20. It doesn't appear.
No, they're in the top 4 in the English Premier League.
They're 5. I'm sorry, they're 5.
They're moving up. Yeah,
that's pretty good. They're
moving up. Right.
Can't beat that. I'm gonna watch a game soon. I'm a big Leeds guy. You know that.
Yeah, well, the games are fun. 3 goals, a lot of excitement for a soccer game.
Yeah,
huge Leeds guy.
Huge Leeds guy. If anyone asks me, I'm a Leeds guy. You know that. I just haven't gotten around to watching the game, but I will soon. I watched a little bit of the game on was it Friday? The game was on Friday, right? Or Saturday?
Yeah, Friday.
Yeah. But overall, huge sports weekend, fantastic sports weekend. Also, big movie weekend because I love this. By the way, I hate quarantine. I hate fucking COVID, obviously. But when a big movie comes out when you're at home, there's nothing better than it because we need it right now. We need this pipeline of high-end content. I feel like a lot of studios have been waiting to put shit out, purposely holding on to stuff, hoping that the theaters will come back. But Amazon Studios put out Borat, the new Borat subsequent movie film. So get used to your least funny friend saying my wife again. That's the downside. The upside, the movie was pretty good. Let's discuss. What did you guys think? Borat came out late Thursday. I watched it late Thursday night.
I thought it sucked. Personally,
thought it sucked?
Yeah. I thought that it was so inferior to the first one that it was hard to watch because everything was obviously produced, and so it was the first one. The comedy was all the situations were very real, and like the rodeo and stuff. You're getting these like genuine, authentic situations. But for example, in this new one, like when he had the lady post the like write hate speech on a cake, right? That was obviously like a rented out cake shop, and they told her it was a comedy sketch, and she was gonna do whatever the fuck Borat told her to do. So like it wasn't funny. It was like, all right, so you have this like overproduced like 3 camera angles, you and your quote unquote daughter, and you're telling this lady you've paid to do a comedy sketch like what to say, and she's doing it like, okay, awesome. Like, I don't know.
So, okay, well, I'm going to take issue with that because I think that's what's been going on with all of the Ali G Borats to date. There's very few sketches that they've ever done.
Then how come the first one was so much better than the second? And then the genuineness of the
no one knew who the fuck he was.
Yeah, I mean, it probably was harder. Also, Larry Charles. I don't know if Larry Charles, who was involved in this particular one. Larry Charles was involved in the last one. He was huge.
But you're really one of the only people I've seen saying it's good.
Oh, you can't argue that it was hilarious. There were some
I think it was pretty stale.
Loud, laugh out loud moments. Okay, so on the note of the cake lady, and by the way, I really enjoyed that because I thought like this is America. Essentially, he walked into the cake shop and he asks the lady to put "Jews will not replace us" on the cake, and she's just like, okay, because whatever you want on the cake in America, unless you're gay, of course. With certain cake shops, but apparently Spartan Bakery was the name of that bakery, and they did not respond to requests for a comment, but a report from a local paper, the Post and Courier, suggested the bakery owners signed a paid contract for their business to be included in the film, despite being told that the film's title, or not being told of the film's title or subject matter. So I think they went in and like.
They rented the shop and told her, "Hey, we're doing a comedy sketch, unnamed."
Do it? It's
all
good.
paid, so she would have done anything. She would have took her top off if they asked her to. It's all ridiculous. Right. It was so fake. It was not funny at all.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's purported to be all real. I don't think like.
Well, but it was so like obviously overproduced. To me, it was the reality is the gag. The first movie's funny because they're running through a thing naked and people actually like are totally freaked out. In this one, it's like, oh, here's this lady we obviously paid to be in this sketch, so she's acting, and so it's like it just sucked.
Well, you could tell a lot by that it was going to suck based on the 3 like scenes they released, which is one, Giuliani, which was a big fucking bust. They made it out to be she was obviously just removing his mic and he was tucking his shirt back in. 2 was the dress in the
you think plastic. That you think Rudy wasn't going for the grab?
Let's get to that last.
Okay.
Well, anyway, if in my opinion, if that was the big fucking deal of this movie, I knew it was going to suck. I haven't even seen it yet.
Right, that wasn't that great. It was less of a big boom than I thought it would be, but
all right.
Okay. So, Will, I think that you're still wrong about this because here's what he did do. Okay. He dressed up like Trump and put a woman over his shoulder and interrupted Mike Pence's speech at the CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Committee or whatever. So he runs into the thing and he's like, Mike Pence, I brought you a girl. And that's pretty funny. And that was legit. That really surprised Pence to have this like Trump with like the really good foam latex mask running through this convention with a hooker over his shoulder. That was pretty good. Also, he did the song about giving Obama and the scientists the COVID flu, where he got the crowd to sing along. That was pretty legit, right? That part was similar.
I mean, like a couple of highlights, but I mean, otherwise, a lot of lowlights.
I mean, it's always funny to see when he like messes with like rednecks, right? Like the last one, like with a guy with like the gun. When he was doing the show, the series he had, I forget what it was called, America something on Showtime. That the stuff when he would mess with rednecks was always hilarious, and I think I saw some previews for that in the movie where he was like trying to kill COVID in the cabin or whatever. I mean, those are always funny, but it's kind of cheap at this point.
All right, so the fax scene, right? Okay, where essentially he's faxing back and forth to Kazakhstan, and they're telling him that he's
that guy would have done anything. That was obviously a rented out shop too.
All right, so here's what that guy said. He said, "I did not know who they were or why they were there. They told me it was a training video for Russians.
Yeah, exactly.
And it would be shown on public television in either Georgia
and they paid me, and I took the money, and I would have done anything.
Yeah, okay. Well, the girl anyway, whatever. I thought it was well done.
It was also staged. To me, when it was so staged, it was just like, get this trash out of here. It's just garbage. Because like the whole gag is the reality, and to me, it's like you lose the reality, you lose the whole gag.
Right.
Okay. I was sold, I guess. Okay, but let's get to the big thing. So the quote unquote Rudy Giuliani interview in Borat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this was the big the press lead, if you will, that they were using ahead of the movie coming out. And there was a ton of publications saying like this looks really bad for Giuliani. I'm assuming most people have seen this, but essentially,
the clip.
Giuliani sits down with this woman who's purported to be Baron Cohen's daughter. Now in the movie, she's 15.
She's an actress.
She's an actress. She's actually like in her 20s. I don't think they communicated to Giuliani that she was 15 in the first place.
No.
And
she's not 15. She's in her 20s.
It just wasn't a thing.
She was wearing a suit. She didn't look 15.
I feel like, yes, Giuliani seemed like a creep. There's no doubt about that. But there was something kind of sad about it because he's like a grandpa, like because he's so fucking old. So like she was like touching Giuliani's leg, and then she invited Giuliani back into another room to have a drink. Maybe he thought he was getting laid. I don't know. But my thing is like, if Giuliani was really going to whip his dick out, why didn't they just let it keep happening? I guess
he wasn't going to.
I agree. I don't think he's going to whip his dick out. I thought it was kind of like, that was a little annoying that they made it such a big thing that it turned out not to be the Giuliani thing. Honestly, he's a creep. What do you want?
He was she was an attractive woman who was just like like hanging on every fucking word he had to say. She invited him back in the room.
It's also
for
a human
drinks.
mousetrap, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, what do you expect the guy to do? He's not married, right? He's a single old dude trying to get his last of what he's getting. And
is Giuliani married? Yeah, I guess when at that age too. Like, do you think your wife wants to?
Yeah,
probably not.
So she started taking his mic off, which can be a very, it's a little bit invasive. And then he starts tucking his shirt back, and then he runs in like, the whole 15 thing. It was
right. She's not 15, so that's
nothing.
Moot. He just yells she's 15.
Right. It was nothing.
It means nothing at all.
It wasn't much. It was. I mean, it pretty much shows that he's an old horn dog. That's what it shows.
Oh, well,
so
that's every single politician. I feel like we've got. Like, I mean, like, is there one that's not at this? But like, if you're over 70 and still in politics, you probably have got some accusations.
You want to get horned up with the horny young ladies. But like, walk or run, don't walk to see Borat. Look, Lights Camera Barstool gave it 84%.
84? That's
I thought it was
high,
good.
Man. I thought I would grade. Now, don't get me wrong. I love.
You didn't laugh out loud. You didn't laugh out loud.
Not that many times. No, a couple times, but not that many times. I loved the first Borat, and I thought it was like one of the best movies. And like I watched it over and over again. I thought that was so funny. But then this one, because I'm telling you, it's the reality gags that made me love the first one so much. And with those being pretty much gone, except for the couple, exceptions you mentioned, it to me was just like fell so flat. So
let me ask you this. So when your dad was on Ali G, on the Ali G show, I feel like, I don't know if he shared that with like you or us at the exact same time when that happened.
Yeah, he told me. I knew,
or was it when the show came
long
out?
Before the show came out that it.
So how did he describe his experience when that happened? I'm curious.
He just described it as like, I had the weirdest interview. He was like,
set some stage for the people.
So he came. So he was in England. My father works in charity world, and so he does AIDS charities and had for my whole life, and also does some political consulting. And so he gets onto interviews a lot, and he did the Ali G show in the 2000s. It must have been right, early 2000s.
It was season 1 of Ali G.
Yeah. So
on HBO.
So he comes back from a business trip in London one time, and he's just like, well, I just had the weirdest interview I've ever had. I don't know what was going on. I think it was a gag, but I have no idea. And he just said it was super weird. Like they don't tell you anything that's happening, and then they put you in, and then it's just, Sacha Baron Cohen acting like a jackass, and you think it's like a real interview. So you just sort of sit there and you see how people react. Luckily, my dad, he's on the Virgin episode. I think he did pretty good. I thought it was funny. Like I didn't feel like embarrassed watching it back at all. Thought he handled himself pretty well.
I thought he did well as well.
Yeah.
See, he was like at a conference back in the day. It probably must have been so much easier, right? Because like he was at a conference in a foreign country where there's a bunch of other people, including a virgin and like people that were like standing up
and so
for Christian values and sex.
Right. So Baron Cohen gets from and there was also a porn star, I guess, who maybe was like part of the same. I don't know if she was there for that or what, but Baron Cohen, he knew that this group was ripe to make like an Ali G show with. So he brings on my dad, who's like the AIDS and non and charity and virginity expert on like abstinence. And then like there's like the virgin who is just a virgin saving himself for marriage, and then there's a porn star who just loves to fuck. And so Ali G is obviously only talking to the porn star and making fun of the virgin, and my dad's just sitting there like totally fucking confused in the middle. But
it must have been so much easier back in the day to do that, because it's like everyone wants to be
right, because he had no idea. And then after Ali G show came out, he would have known who he was, or he would have had some idea. I would have heard that was going around. So yeah, being on season 1, he had absolutely no clue what was happening.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
That's what I'm saying. I thought that was really funny. I loved the Ali G show. I loved a lot of his earlier stuff. And the first Borat was really funny. The second
why do
one,
you keep saying it Borat? Why do you
Borat
keep saying
or Borat? I don't know how you say it.
We're from the exact same place, and you're the only person who keeps calling it Borat.
What do you say?
Borat.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You got
Borat.
Borat.
What were you saying?
Borat.
Saying Borat.
Borat. Isn't that how it's spelled?
Like he's a Louisiana football player. Bo, first name Bo, last name
Borat.
Oh yeah, the Tigers they're scouting him this year. We might have Borat.
Borat's looking pretty good out there. All right, hey, we gotta take a break. But before we take a break, I'm gonna gain weight this week because I've been fat. But maybe I'll lose some weight today at the charity 5K. There's a virtual charity 5K. All of the proceeds are going to MD Anderson to cancer research. It's being put on by Barstool and Whoop, so you can still donate and sign up. If you've got a Whoop, there's a Barstool team on there. You can run the 5K with us. Erica's running at large, and Trista, hopefully Tyler O'Day, anybody who likes to run in Barstool, hopefully they're going to do it with us, and you can too. So go to barstoolsports.com, look for the charity 5K link, donate there, and then if you've got a Whoop, you can run along with us. But yeah, so get involved if you want to. I'll be sweating. I'll probably very soon be talking to Large about how fat we are.
What time does that go down?
Took us. It's any time today, virtual 5K.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
Donate to charity, get involved, work out for a good cause today. And with that, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back to Hard Factor. Again, we are Hard Factor News. We have a podcast. Comes out daily. Think you might enjoy it. A little bit of what you need to know for the day. Stay a little bit informed. Check it out wherever podcasts are available. Also, we have a YouTube channel if that's how you like to ingest your podcast. Hard Factor on YouTube. Hard Factor News on YouTube. All right, let's keep going. Guys, I don't know about you, but I, for one, that's the wrong fucking story. Here's the title of the... Here's the title of the CNN Business article I read for this one. It says, quote, "Good luck getting your holiday gifts delivered on time this year. You'll need it." Yeah.
So in a year where you can basically only online shop a lot of places, you might not get them on time.
Right. They're saying that this pandemic, no surprise here, the pandemic has caused folks to up their online shopping and stay the fuck away from stores, causing levels of online shopping to reach levels that retailers didn't expect for years down the road. So we're seeing, the online shopping that expected, 2025 or whatever. So it's going to be bad. So if you don't want to go to the stores and do all your shopping online, like my mom, who, is old and, doesn't want to deal with, possibly COVID and then just, the craziness out there, she's going to do online shopping. You better get it in quick. Some people are saying as early as December 1st, if you want your shit by the holidays.
This is some big retail hype garbage. This is a planted story. I'm calling fake news on this.
You're saying this is just to make you spend more.
I bet there's something else going on here. I think there's something else going on here. Because
the earlier you spend, the more you spend, right? That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
The psychos who are the Christmas psychos have already bought their Christmas stuff already, in my opinion. And
you think even before Halloween?
Some of it. My mom's a pretty big Christmas psycho, and she, but I agree with you, Pat. The more time that they allow for marketing to sink into your brain and tell you what you need, the more time you have to shop, the more you're going to spend.
Yeah. Why wasn't this article about like, hey, have you voted yet? Because make sure you fucking voted. Hold the articles about you not getting your fucking your Bose speaker or whatever or your PlayStation 5. people aren't voting right now. People should be turning in their mail-in ballots if they haven't already. It's going to be a disaster. And they're talking. Can we deal with one postal disaster at a time? That's what I'm saying.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that like the voting articles probably don't do the same kind of numbers as people talking about you might not get your Amazon Prime on time. Like those,
right.
That's going to move the needle with a lot of people. I'm not sure. Everybody should vote. Do their civic.
Where were the
duty and all,
sources on this article? What's the subtext here? Put your conspiracy hat on for me.
Well, okay, so immediately a conspiracy hat is well, if it wasn't written by CNN, maybe the conspiracy hat, if it was like this was like a Fox article, I would say that they're just trying to clog up but it's the mail system. But since it was written by CNN, that doesn't make any sense. So the FedEx chief marketing officer Bree Carrere said, "quote The spread of COVID-19 in the U.S. has triggered such an increase in e-commerce." Huh?
Wait, why would Fox want to clog up the mail?
For the mail-in ballots,
huh?
So they don't get.
You don't know that like Democrats vote by mail in staggering numbers compared to Republicans voting by mail, because a lot of Republicans don't give a shit or don't believe in coronavirus or don't take it seriously. So the majority of
doesn't
votes
it just
cast
depend
by mail
on
are
your
gonna be
state and what they do? I mean,
Democrat. Let's not get into it, but there's a whole thing about it. There's a whole thing about it.
Huh?
I think that the dialogue is that the reason that the Republicans don't like the mail-in is because it's going to create more Democratic votes, and that they're going to be it's not advantageous to Republicans as much as it is Democrats. That's I think the dialogue that's going around. Could be wrong. I don't know, but I think what Pat said is right. Anyway, so there's differing people out there saying like that they've got these like logistics audit analytics companies that say the carriers are basically full of shit. That if you want your Lego, the carriers say they've hired like tens of thousands of extra holiday workers. They're delivering on Sunday, so not to worry. But some people say they're full of shit. That if you want your stuff by Christmas, you better order by December 1st. There's also people that say
more USPS hate. Is this about the whole system? It's about FedEx, the whole UPS, everybody.
It's FedEx, it's UPS, it's all of that shit. But they're saying that everything's going to be fine because they've added so many new workers. And there's one person says order it by December 1st. One person says it's just going to be a few days more. So like December 18th is a good cutoff if you want it by Christmas. So
when are they going to give these guys, these delivery people, drone trucks? Where all the packages have drones that they can just like drive down the street, and then all of the packages are out immediately.
Yes, Will. Yes. Also, you got all these fucking video game kids that are trying to make it on Twitch, right? Like, guess what? The Ninja, I don't know. He isn't that much better at video games than the next guy in line. It's not like that. So there's all these guys that have pro level skills in the video game space that could be absolutely piloting drones for you.
Droning packages. Right.
Oh, dude, why don't they do that? Why don't they put these
from
kids
their
to work that
mom's
way?
base? I'm saying, what if you had one guy who just drives around with one of these kids in the back of his truck, and then he's got a mobile truck filled with drones with a gamer kid dropping them off at every door? You could deliver 1,000 packages in an hour. More than that.
That
more
makes
than
no
that.
sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
why would you do that? Why wouldn't you?
Because
just have
then
the drone
you
face
have an
mobile
even
drone?
shorter look. It's like an aircraft carrier. You understand? So you have like the truck is like a base of operations for the drones that are taking the packages out.
You understand?
It's
Okay,
so
yes, I'm sorry.
look. You can move. It's a mobile base of operations with multiple drones on it. I mean, we're talking about like a lot of packages being delivered all.
But
at
then,
once.
Will, my point is, okay, so you're essentially like these drone operators that are in their mom's basements. They're just getting
they're in the truck. They're in the truck.
Okay,
They're operating. They're
A further
loading.
flaw.
They're
A further
loading the
flaw
drones.
in your ridiculous plan.
It's not. This isn't a flaw. They're loading the drones and flying them from inside the truck.
This
Now
is
the
the
truck
dumbest
might
thing I've
sit
ever heard.
still sometimes, but then no, I'm telling
And
you.
is it a step van? Is it like Is it? Have you ever been in the back
the
of a step
sides
van?
of the van disappear and the drones all leave at once. These guys can deliver like 20, 30, 50 at a time.
No.
Are they wearing helmets? Because they're going to be fucking getting jostled around in the back with a bunch.
No.
There's not
They'll
space.
park.
That's so inefficient.
Look, they'll park and then the truck sides lower and then all the drones escape at once. It's like it's like when Elon Musk releases the Starlink satellites. And then boom, all the drones leave, drop off the packages, come back, next, and then they'll move to like the next neighborhood. Boom, same thing.
You don't think it'd be more efficient just to have a guy running packages from the box truck, which is what they do, and then the drones go from the giant distribution facilities?
No.
Okay.
You're gonna get better spread with these again aircraft carrier mindset.
You know why they have an aircraft carrier? Will, do you know why?
Because you need to move flying objects around a place.
Yeah, but specifically why? Because you can't land on
so you
water.
Can get closer, right? So you can get closer to things that you need to deliver the goods to. Exactly.
Right. So real quick, so if
you got to deliver the payload,
if there was no water, on the Earth, do you think that there would be aircraft carriers?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that drones need a place to take off and land from.
Yes,
so
and
you're going to have the truck. No. That's too far away. You got to shorten these drone trips.
I think your logic is good if we had aircraft carrier size FedEx trucks.
Well, you could. It's called an 18-wheeler, and then the sides disappear, and all the drones escape at once.
With the packages 18-wheeler whipping through suburban streets is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No. Box truck. Just a little bit smaller. Just a little bit smaller, but still large enough to have immense amounts of drones blanketing the neighborhood.
I got a good buddy who's in logistics at Google. I think I might put you in touch with him, Will.
I'm telling you.
Sounds like you have some bright ideas.
Make sure he listens to this first before he takes that call.
Yeah. Well, hold on. So back to this being a fucking propaganda machine scam. I do want to point out that the woman that made this announcement, guys, Brie Carrere, she's the executive vice president and the chief marketing and communications officer. This sounds a little bit like marketing
for who?
To me.
FedEx.
For FedEx.
Oh yeah, she just wants more packages. Look, speaking of propaganda machines, I was looking up the Lincoln Project this weekend, and that is a super PAC. And so I didn't know this, but super PACs. So, we were talking about we should make a PAC, a political action committee that goes that like tries to get gambling legalized in every state, so we can have a Barstool Sports book in every state, political gambling nationwide, stuff like that. Well, I learned that you shouldn't even do a PAC. You should make a super PAC because
I like it. I'm liking what you're saying already. I don't know why I would do anything.
Super PACs have no rules. So like a regular PAC, you have to like track everything, and you can give it to candidates the money, but you can't. But a super PAC, as long as you don't give the money directly to a political party or the candidate, you can take as much money as you want, unlimited funds, and you can spend as much as you want on whatever the fuck you want. It's amazing. It's like the biggest loophole to just make shady money, it seems like, and you can do it like as just like claiming it's for politics.
Why would anyone be a PAC if you could just be a super PAC?
It doesn't make any sense. The super PAC is the only way to go. I've been looking up the rules. Like, we got to get in on this super PAC thing. Like, it's incredible. It's the biggest money loophole I've ever seen. Because I was like, it's got to be a scam, and it is. And so, yeah, we should get in on this.
For them, we're scamming them. We're not getting scammed. We're benefiting. We're the scammers with the super PAC.
Well, these guys basically are scamming. I don't know how
regulations.
I mean, they just basically are. They're taking in as much money as they possibly can from corporations or individuals or anybody, and then they just spend it on whatever their goal is,
like dinners and stuff.
No, I mean, whatever your goal is, you don't even have to. You have to say you spent it on your goal, but whatever it is, you're in.
The only thing I knew about super PACs to date was that they couldn't communicate directly with candidates, right?
Right, so that's it. That's the only thing, and that's the beauty of it. We wouldn't even have to we wouldn't be talking to them anyways. So why would we?
All right,
Why would we ever talk to the parties or the candidates?
So it's like when they air a commercial and they're like, "This commercial was put on by this PAC, this super PAC, not affiliated with the candidate." That's what it's like.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we could just make commercials and say.
To that note, the important thing that we got to keep focused on is that candidates every year will film a bunch of footage, like hours of footage, like when Ted Cruz did it, and they'll just upload it to YouTube because they can't communicate directly with the super PACs. So the super PACs will go on YouTube and download this raw footage and then cut it into shit. But it gets ridiculous. Like Ted Cruz is like 3.5 hours of him like talking about his little son. His little nephew, I forget what his nephew's name was, but he's a total fuck up.
Yeah, it's incredible. So there's like 10 plus of these super PACs that raised 50 million or more this year alone, and like the top ones have raised like over 200 million, like over 300 million, the very top one. So it's like the amounts of money that you can just like basically launder through these things is, I mean, it's incredible.
It's like
so
owning a yacht.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm just saying, we really have been late and should have been in on this super PAC thing a long time ago. I think they only got legalized like a few years ago, but there's a whole possibility.
And we can just spend that money too. Like we don't have to be. We can be.
It says here's the official.
Here's the official. We don't have to have
description.
scruples, do we? Okay.
Well, it doesn't say it in the description. It's super PACs, officially known as independent expenditure only political action committees, may engage in unlimited political spending on, for example, ads, independently of the campaigns, and are not allowed to either coordinate or make contributions to candidates or party coffers. So that's what we were getting at. Like, you can't talk directly with any of the parties or the people, but you could do whatever the hell you want. It's very interesting. I think that there's some space to explore.
It's the big first step in getting favors down the line.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it just seems like something we should take a look at. But
yeah, immediately. Can we get someone? If you know anything about super PACs,
no, we're on it. We're on it. We're
gonna get you paid. You're gonna get handsomely paid.
Guys, don't worry about it. It's on my to-do list. I got this, and some other things. The Reno 911 ride along, real life. So
how is the ride along going?
It's good. I mean, I'm gonna line it up. I know that it's gonna happen. We haven't actually scheduled it yet. I'm thinking the super PAC. I'm putting super PAC and Reno 911 ride along right after the election. I want November 3rd pass. People hopefully chill out. Election over. We can focus on some other stuff. So, yeah.
I'm shocked they still let people do that. It seems like just. I mean, I want to. It sounds awesome, but it seems just like a liability nightmare to have you rolling around with cops going to calls.
It's going to be sweet, dude. I'm telling you, it'll be sweet.
Have you heard anything about it? Like, did they say like anything? Do you have any details in terms of like what you're gonna be able to do?
Yeah, like I'm gonna be riding. Hopefully in. I don't know if it's gonna. I'm not sure if it's gonna be like a marked car or an unmarked car. But I'm
gonna give you a vest.
Along. I would assume you probably have to wear one for liability.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you gonna get a firearm? Are they gonna?
No. Hopefully not.
You're gonna hear this a lot. Just stay here. Wait in the car.
Wait in the car. Yeah. Wait in the car. Yeah, I'm assuming that's what it'll be. But no, we'll get that going. I want to do all this stuff. We got a lot of things. We got a lot of irons in the fire there with that.
I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah. Okay, but we need to move over to France right now, boys, before we wrap up for the day. So France is going to start giving out weed for free to its citizens as early as March 2021. So that sounds amazing, but it's really less cool than it sounds. It's a study with 3,000 participants in the pilot program who will be receiving free weed from the federal French government. And the government is currently taking bids from weed growers and different weed companies to choose like who's going to provide the goods for this new pilot program. And the medical cannabis experiment will be responsible for providing their own product free of charge. So if the companies want to participate, they have to give the weed for free, even though the cannabis will have to comply with pharmaceutical standards in France. So basically a dumb program that will likely
what are you getting at? Why are they
the end
doing
of
this?
its 2-year time limit? I don't know.
Do they say what the point of the study?
I don't know why.
No, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's like they're just going to hand out weed for free to 3,000 people and just see what happens. And that's I don't know.
They're going to get high. I mean,
right.
like what? Yeah,
they're going to love it. Here? They're going to love it. Okay, but what next? I don't understand. But like, funny enough, like I was talking to the shop. There's a new marijuana store right in my neighborhood. And I was talking to the shop owners like just last week about the differences that like how we prefer America because it's a free market and there's like so many different products on the shelf as opposed to like Canada or something where things are very limited by the government. So like, I don't know, it's a cool project, but I can't imagine like it being cool in the future, if like you had no freedom of choice over what cannabis product you wanted, you just had to take whatever the government gives you. Like that seems to me to not.
They're gonna give you bud. They're gonna give you
Yeah,
the worst.
the
weed.
nerd is picking it out for sure. Like it's some giant nerd picking it out.
It's it's like the bread line in communism. That's what it's like. It's like here you want your rations for the day.
Right.
Come and you might like sourdough, but you're not getting what you like from a bread perspective. They're gonna
That's
give
exactly
you whatever.
it.
Probably a lot of rye, probably some pumpernickel, probably some like white or like fake wheat. But let me ask you this question. When you found this study, did you then start reading about weed, thinking about weed, and then get high and not completely comprehend the study? Because I feel like they would have said why they were going to give 3,000 people weed.
Me too.
Oh, there was a quote from a Frenchman, but it didn't make much sense. They're so early in the process. They're so early in the process.
French?
Who wrote this article?
It was translated to English. They're so early in the process. They're still like, he's like, oh, well, we still have to find the companies who are going to give us the free weed. And then after that, we have to decide if it's going to be edibles or if it'll be flour or if it'll be vapes. And then after that, we have to get it approved by the French Parliament. And then after that, that's the kind of quote that was given by the guy. So there wasn't much about the purpose of it. I think they're studying and seeing like, is this going to benefit the people that they give it to? And the people that they give it to, sorry, it's coming back to me. They have to have a reason.
Yeah. Hell
they
yeah.
have to have a reason to be on marijuana, right? So it's like
Right.
they're going to be like they're going to have like whatever a reason. So they'll study
Glaucoma.
whoever. Yeah, exactly. Whatever it is. So
Okay.
it's very early in the process. It sounds to me like a very, I don't know. I'm skeptical of this what they're.
So it's a
trying.
medical study.
Kinda. I don't know. It doesn't seem. It seems.
Sounds
It's
like
some
a
of the
medical
people I think are going to have a reason, but it's recreational. You know what I mean? It's like maybe an anxiety type thing. So it's just. I don't know. Socialized weed just rubs me the wrong way. Like you're gonna have to smoke like a specific strain because the government tells you so. I don't know.
Yeah, that would suck. That's
Yeah,
like,
because then
yeah.
you better start thinking, is this government mind control? Which
Right.
that was a conspiracy theory back in the day that the government was putting certain chemicals on your marijuana to control your mind, which it's possible, it's plausible. You can't say it's
You
not.
would think that you could trick yourself into thinking that for sure if you're smoking government weed all the time.
Oh,
Like-
man. You know what the most messed up thing about marijuana is when you're a kid? It's like a catch-22 of like this thing you're not legally allowed to do that also makes you paranoid about rules you may have broken. So it's like, I remember someone was like, oh, bro, you're high? That's because someone sprayed chemicals all over that shit. And I was like, no. That's like a rumor. It was just fucked up. Smoking weed as a kid is just not fun, in my opinion. It's just not. Like, it doesn't become fun until you get later.
Well, right. Of course it's not, because you should only do it as of a legal age. That's
Agreed.
That's the only
100.
time you should ever do marijuana
you,
is
Will.
if it's legally allowed in the location you are at and if you are of the legal age.
Right. Hey, real quick.
Responsibly.
We only got a couple minutes left, but I want to ask. So a lot of people are saying that they're going to be staying home for the holidays. Like, I don't know if you saw like Rob
What the
Schneider
fuck is that? Yeah. I've seen.
had like
I've
a
seen
battle
this.
with Gavin Newsom. That guy's obviously a rocker. But what are you guys going to travel to see your families? Like, what's the vibe in your households?
I am. It seems like.
Are you gonna quarantine in? Like,
There's
what's your
this
plan?
like no. The state I'm going to for family travel does not require any type of stuff. But I don't know. I mean, like I don't know. Like I think that like people just. I think a lot of families are sick of it to the point where they're just going to take the risk. So.
I'm
I don't
traveling
know.
out of
What
the
about you
country,
guys?
hopefully. I'm hopefully, I've had my son for Christmas for the last, 7 years. So I think his mom's going to take him this year, and I'm going on a legit vacation. I'm going out of the
really?
country. Yeah.
Where are you going?
I might go to Mexico.
Nice,
You
my
talking about a
buddy.
proper
I just
wet?
saw somebody in
Yeah.
Cancun this weekend that looked
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Look
I might.
nice.
I'm not going home to just sit around without, my son. I'm going on a legit vacation.
You might do a proper West. That's
Proper
amazing.
West.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love West in vacay mode. I want
Holiday of West.
I want to see selfies. I want to see shirts. I want to see him doing excursions.
No, you're going to see it all. Lots
All right,
of
so we got
pics.
we got two travelers, and Beeve, you were pretty fearless about traveling throughout the whole lockdown. So I'm assuming that you're not going to be sidelined by the.
I've been responsible. I haven't been around any old people, and I've gotten a lot of tests. My thing is, I am concerned, so I'm going to go to Knoxville. I'm going to drive to Knoxville but you better believe that I'm going to spend the first 3 days in a hotel room until I get a negative test, because I don't want to be rolling around my old ass parents, you know?
Yeah.
Well, sure, but as somebody who has traveled several times throughout the lockdown, there's a lot of people out there who have not traveled at all, and those people are, I think, a lot of them are just sick of it, and they need to see their family. A lot of them, so. You know, I think a lot of families are going to have it different ways, probably a lot based on the politics of people. It seems like, and that's just
and
how
we
it's
talked
gonna
about
go.
it. The travel shaming is still in people's minds. You know, that people are gonna they're worried about travel being shamed for going places, and that still is gonna fuck with people's heads.
I'll tell you what, this is going to be good for more people than it is bad, because this is, guys. This is an excuse to not go home for the holidays. This is an excuse to stay wherever the fuck you want. And a lot
2020
of
is the
people are gonna be
ultimate
loving on
excuse
that.
year. It's the ultimate excuse year in general. I mean, everybody's got an excuse for everything. It's just anything happens, it's like COVID. I gotta stay. I can't. With all the climate out there, I gotta COVID it. Sorry, guys.
Plus, it was the year of the cicadas. That was like that. That was another potential excuse scapegoat.
COVID's way better than cicadas. Cicadas is pretty good, once every 17 years, but on
Agreed.
the East Coast. But
Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm just freaked out about being around the olds. But we'll see.
well, I think that but the thing about it, at least with some of my travel that I'm going to be doing, it's it's a lot of the people, the more elderly people want the travel to happen. So and I know that they're the most vulnerable.
Well, come here and cough on me.
They're the most vulnerable, but also if they feel that the risk is worth the reward, then
I've always wanted you to take me out.
who are you to tell somebody that you know better, right? I think in a lot of these situations. So
Agreed, but there's gonna be some fucking finger pointing. Someone dies from COVID. It's gonna be
for sure. But I mean, if your whole family's getting together, they're not gonna blame one person.
There are gonna be some terrible stories coming out, like traveled home to see the family and killed
Whole
grandma.
family gets sick.
Yeah, that's gonna be terrible.
It's when the whole family gets sick that's the bad situation, and you're in the same house. But so hopefully people don't have that going on.
Yeah, or you got to travel with multiple people, so the blame can be spread, like a firing squad situation.
Yeah.
Versus right. Anyway, that's gonna do it for Hard Factor. Thank you guys so much for listening. We very much appreciate you. If you haven't checked out our podcast, Hard Factor, it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, everywhere podcasts are free. Daily News podcast, different than this one. Absolutely recommend checking it out. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow, and the dozen is up next.
Have a great fucking day.
Oh, yeah! Very good. Okay, very good.